Welcome back to today's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Ray Perez, and today my special guest is Brian Dalmaso, a global wealth and mindset expert. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Hey, thanks, Ray. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, and I'm so excited because what you do is something that fascinates me, working with the mind. Can you share a little bit about how you got started?
Yeah, it's a long journey. I'm not going to bore the audience, but I'll kind of fast forward to kind of midlife where I was in Vegas at a wealth expo or a wealth, what'd you say?
Conference?
International conference is a good word. And I saw a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor speaking on stage. And he showed me something that I had not seen in the first, 40 years of my life. I've been an entrepreneur, an architect, a builder. Never before did I see how the mind-body connection works, and then how do you apply that to entrepreneurship. So that was an event in Vegas about 10 years ago. And ever since then, I just never looked back. I just fell in love with that, became a student of that, and now that's what we teach and we coach.
And now you work with Bob, right?
Yeah. Bob's become a real good friend. He's my mentor, but he's also a good friend. And I always tell people it's kind of like hanging out with Yoda. He's 87 years old. He's been studying the mind for 62 years every single day. And he's passing that information off to people like me.
Well, for those of you who don't know who Bob Proctor is, he's a gentleman that was in the movie The Secret, and he's probably one of the smartest and most intellectual when it comes studying the human mind and how everything works.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure everyone understands who his mentor and business partner is. So tell me a little bit about, you have some coaching programs, right? Can you share a little bit about the coaching programs you work on?
Yeah, we've, over the past 5 years, we've developed a whole suite of programs, right? Everything from Mindset Masters, No One Left Behind for the masses, all the way to elite programs for CEOs and entrepreneurs. We do corporate trainings, we do one-on-ones. I'm most passionate about Mindset Masters, though, because, what happened to me is I was 41, 42 years old. I started working with Bob, and had really good success. We took our construction company from $1 million to $10 million in 12 months. And then I was like, how come this information? Why am I 40 years old? I went to college, mechanical engineer, right? Superior traditional information, but inferior results. And it just had a paradigm shift. Like, I have to teach this stuff. I have to get this out to everyone, not just people that are super wealthy or they can afford corporate training. So the Mindset Master is like $1 a day or something. And we're giving little bits of information, daily live coaching on Facebook. Plus we have a Monday Night Mastermind, and we're just giving people that leg up so they can get out of the gate and start to understand how entrepreneurs think.
Well, what I really love about what you do is how you had your own blue-collar business, right? You took the teachings from Bob and what you had been focusing on, you implemented, you saw the success, and you said, wait, now I can teach this to others.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I mean, unfortunately, everybody and their brother on social media is a coach, right? I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, I'm teaching this, and a lot of people are just relating a program, and that's all they're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. It could be a very good program, but they're not necessarily using their real estate teachings to build a business, right? Or whatever they're coaching to actually succeed in the real world. We have 21 revenue streams and growing as of the other day. And the first thing I did is I used this content for myself to create multiple businesses. We still use it every single day. We live it and breathe it. We embody it. So we're kind of, I guess you'd call it a product of the product.
Yeah.
And then we had a paradigm shift and decided I really want to work with Bob, and he asked us to work with him, and now we're where we're at. So.
Well, I have to acknowledge and show appreciation for someone that has done and is doing what they're teaching. Because the so-called gurus out there that are teaching you something that they just learned from someone else, and are just basically regurgitating the same information, they never implemented it, they never saw their own 100%. Results to be able to teach from that experience. So I acknowledge you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And so you don't just do these different programs, you also have like one-on-one coaching like at a higher level, right? Can you kind of share a little bit about that?
Yeah, we like to step people up. We like to meet people where they're at. If they're entry level, still at the employee level, let's show you how to start a little side revenue stream. Let's get you in that mindset. If somebody has businesses, we have something called Level Up, which brings them to the next level, a little bit of home-based study, and gets them into that next stage of a mindset. Our core offering is something called Thinking in the Results, which is it's kind of co-coached with me and Bob. He has video-based training, and then we coach on top of that. And that's really, I think, for most people. If somebody's at a low six figures and they're looking to get to 7, like that's the program. It's a 6-month intensive, and it really helps people go from where they are to where they want to be. And the beautiful thing is I can brag about it because it's not my content, right? I don't have to wonder if it's going to work. The lineage of what Bob has put together goes back, centuries. So that's the beautiful part. It's not like I all of a sudden decided to start coaching something. I'm piggybacking off of his 62 years of study, and the lineage goes back to Earl Nightingale, goes back to Napoleon Hill, all the way back to Andrew Carnegie, who's the world's first recorded billionaire. So I brag about it all the time. I've just been a really good student, and we've gotten really good at articulating and teaching and kind of piggybacking off of Bob.
And who would you say is a good client, or who can benefit from these programs?
We get asked that question all the time, and the answer is everyone. It seems like a big answer, but what we're teaching is not vertical specific. It's not like, hey, do you want to learn real estate or network marketing or sales? This is foundational of how human beings think and act and operate. Stuff should be taught in grade school, So it's really anybody that's not enjoying the results they have, either physically, mentally, spiritually, income-wise. If there's anything they want to improve in their lives, we have to change the mental programs that are causing them to get the results they're getting. And that's why we have 8 different offerings, is so we can literally meet people where they're at, whether it's corporate, could be physical, could be spiritual. We have different things for different people to meet them where they're at.
Wow, so clarify. So it doesn't matter what industry they're in.
Doesn't matter.
What type of business, whether they're an employee or employer, entrepreneur, network marketer, doesn't matter. And they can come to you because they want to increase their money, increase their relationships, their spirituality. There's really it's just kind of, you assist people in becoming a better version of themselves.
Yeah,
is that I mean, how do we sum it up?
It's a tough one, I know, but it's, we're born with a conscious mind, subconscious mind, and body. We're born with certain equipment, but we're never given the manual on how to think, act, and operate, and how the world's wealthiest people process information. So what we're really doing is showing people who and what they are and how to live from the inside out. People have everything they need, they just don't know it. We haven't been taught that. Right? In grade school, we're taught a little English, little science, little math, little history. We're not taught self-image, decision-making, wealth building, any of the core things that we need to succeed at a high level. So yeah, it's a little bit of a tough question to answer, but all people need to do is look at their results. If they're not happy in any of those areas, we can help them. I will say that probably 90% of people are coming to us for income, because when you 2x, 5x, 10x your income, a lot of other things change. If you're able to quit your job because you have things going on the side, you can get back to the gym, you can spend more time with your spouse, your significant other, your family. So we do find that generating income quickly helps people in all the other areas. So most people are coming to us trying to raise their income, and the first part of our title talks about teaching multiple revenue stream strategy and how do you earn money from home. There's a million different ways now. The NFTs that are coming out, right, is a good example.
Yeah.
And people are just oblivious, So we work in that too. We actually help people generate multiple streams of income.
Well, I love that, because what affects one area of your life will affect every area of your life, right? So if you come focusing on how to increase your revenue and your income, it can affect all these different areas.
100%, yeah.
And I love what you were sharing about, like, people don't know what they don't know. And it seems that you operate in the area of what people don't know.
100%. A good example is when I was very blessed at 17 years old to be hired by the General Electric company in their engineering program. And that's what I call an invisible prison. I mean, everybody in there said, oh my God, kid, you made it. Put your 40 years in, you retire, a few million in accounts and pension, and get your gold watch, 6 weeks vacation. And it was amazing. And I would have stayed there if they didn't close. 10 years after I was working, they closed that plant.
Wow.
Thank God they did, because that is what a paradigm or a construct is. That's why our company's called The Matrix. Everyone around me said, this is as good as it gets. And like I said, it was amazing. But I look back now, and boy, it was limiting. I had to go to a certain building for 40, 50 hours a week, stay there, you get 6 weeks vacation. They all thought that was a lot. It's like, what about 6 months vacation? What about being able to work from your laptop anywhere in the world? You travel, you and your wife, you live this, right?
Yeah.
Very few people get to live, number one, doing something they love. Like, this isn't work for you. It's not work for me. We're doing what we love, right? So that's the first thing is find out what you love and then get really good at it. So that's really what we're doing is teaching
and
people.
Get paid for it.
And get paid.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so in addition to the programs, you do corporate training as well.
We do, yeah.
And you have seminars and events. Can you share a little bit about the seminars and events?
Yeah, I mean, before COVID, we were doing live seminars. We would do real estate training. So we can take this information and really pair it towards a vertical. So we've done real estate seminars, network marketing seminars, sales seminars, management seminars. So again, it's because it's foundational. We're teaching people how the subconscious mind stores programs. It can be applied to anything. So we have done vertical specific seminars and trainings, and then we do high-end events. We have one that we do every year in Vegas, real high-end event. It's intimate, and it's really designed for people to get from 7 figures to like 8, 9, and 10. It's that billionaire track. So
wow. Now you're a serial entrepreneur. You have multiple businesses. You also have a software company, right?
We do. Yep. And it's funny, people say you're in mindset and you also have software, but they really blend nicely because the software we created is for entrepreneurs. It's for aspiring entrepreneurs. It's for the 80 to 90% that fail at some very basic things for some very basic reasons. So we created a low cost, easy onboarding, easy entry type of software that helps people with that daily method of operation, that follow-up sequence, making little landing pages. So they really go hand in hand. One is the mindset that you need to get going, and the other one is a set of tools. So they marry very nicely. Yeah. And it's funny because the software has an affiliate program, so it is a revenue stream.
So in addition to making what you teach more effective, it also produces revenue.
Correct.
So just an example of how you take what you teach and actually put it into action yourself.
Exactly.
So if there was one thing that you can tell our audience that you can share, that whether they're an employee or they're an employer, they're just looking to grow, well, what's some advice you'd give them?
I don't know if it's as much of advice as a phrase that I've embodied, and it makes a lot of sense. The fact of the matter is we become what we think, but it's just most people aren't thinking. So all science and all theology, they've disagreed on almost everything, but they do come together on that one thing. We become what we think. Your body is a reflection of decisions over time. Your businesses are a reflection of thoughts over time. Most people are just scattered thoughts in the news and the COVID and the this and that attack, and we're just scattered through all social media and all this stuff. Most people aren't focusing on, number one, writing out what you want. Like clearly, what do you want? Almost everybody's setting goals based on what they think they can get at a low level of awareness, right? So what we want to do is set a goal here, and it pulls your awareness up. That's how the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musks, the Warren Buffett, that's how they think and act and operate. And that's what we're breaking down at like a 5th grade level in hand serving to our clients, is how do those people process information, what makes them successful, and then they can apply it to whatever they want.
So I think a proper word for what you produce for people would be a paradigm shift.
That's exactly what it is, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Most people don't know what a paradigm is, so let me take a second to explain that, right? So a paradigm is really just a fancy word that we use to describe all of the mental programs that are stored in our subconscious mind, right? When we're born a blank slate. We don't have language. We don't know how to walk. We can't get dressed. These are all mental programs learned through spaced repetition. Wealth building is just another program, right? If you went to learn Chinese right now, I'm assuming you don't know that, you would take small bits of information repetitively.
Yeah.
Now, because you don't have a fear about Chinese, you're like, I could probably do that, you would do it. But if I said, let's go build a $1 billion company, your conscious mind might reject that. Like, I can't, right? And if we reject it, then we won't do it.
Wow.
But if we understand that there's no such thing as big or small, it's just relativity, we start to play with these ideas. Building a $1 billion company is no different than learning a new language. And I can tell most people hearing this are going to reject that information. But the subconscious mind wouldn't know the difference between learning a new language and building a $1 billion company. Consciously, we separate and reject and magnify and minimize. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's really what we're doing. We're teaching people how to program their subconscious mind to get the results they want.
Well, I love it. I'm a student of the teaching and education, and I think what you're doing is amazing for everyone. So I just thank you so much. And if they want to connect with you, if they want to learn about your programs, your events, they just want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, we have everything on my personal website. It's briandalmaso360.com, and that's DALMASO, so briandalmaso360.com. And the cool thing is everything is there. We get our YouTube, our podcasts, multiple companies. You can really learn everything there is about me on briandalmaso360.com.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thank you so much for being on the show. Truly appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a pleasure being here.
Awesome. And thank you for joining us on today's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Ray Perez, reminding you to never leave for tomorrow what you can do today and always stay true to your brand.